Hi, it's Charlie McCann from Stan James, welcoming you to a preview of this weekend's football and cricket action. We've been at Anfield. Saturday's big game, lunchtime kickoff against Manchester City. Liverpool 19-20, a shade of odds on, versus City 31-10, and the draw 23-10. Torres is unlikely to return to the Liverpool fold, and gone. They're likely to be out without Albert Riera and Yossi Benayoun, who were both pulled up with hamstring injuries in the last game against Birmingham City. But I still think they'll have too much for City. I haven't been impressed with them at all after that sort of initial honeymoon period. Adebayor's sort of suspension hasn't helped, and Robinho's AWOL, but I don't think this is a particularly impressive City side, and I think Liverpool will have too much for them. It looks as if Gerrard's going to be back. Babel and Ngog, are they eventually going to fulfil the potential that many at Anfield have in them? Looks as if Agger's going to be back as well, and I think Liverpool can win this just a shade of odds on at 19-20. United play Everton in the other Saturday live televised game, 4-11, Everton 8 and 7-2 the draw, and until Everton get many of their players back, okay, it's likely that Pienaar, Osman and Neville may be available. They'll probably be on, at least one of them on the subs bench, but until Everton get Jagielka and Arteta back, I don't think Everton will be taking much from Old Trafford. I think Moyes has done famously well, but I think Everton will probably have one eye on the Europa Cup game next week. Sunderland 5-1 against Arsenal, 8-13, and the draw 13-5. Yeah, it's an interesting one now, only because of Arsenal's injuries. This is, progressive, very progressive Arsenal side, but Arshavin is playing this evening for the second leg of his World Cup playoff, second leg for Russia. He was absolutely instrumental in them taking a 2-1 lead. Billy Zadinov, of course, of Everton, scored the 2 goals. He's still suspended. God knows why, the poor lad, only slipped over, but that's another story. I think this is fascinating now that Van Persie's out, injured, what will happen? Ventnor's the obvious one. He would go up front. He's injured as well. He's had a hernia operation in Germany during the week. Fascinating. I don't think Eduardo has the physical presence, and it may well be that this is a big game for Arsenal. Sunderland haven't won in a long time. They haven't been as impressive as the one. Remember, they beat Liverpool, and then they before that they drew at Old Trafford and thoroughly deserved a point, but they were well beaten early in the season. This is really, it's too close to call. I certainly wouldn't be taking this 8-13 Arsenal, given that they may have trouble up front and indeed scoring goals. But of course, a lot depends on the fulcrum of the side, Fabregas and Arshavin. If Arshavin's maybe out, because he'll, this is a massive game of football for Russia this evening, but fascinating game that. Bolton 6-5 against Blackburn, 23-10. Again, too close to call for me. That Lancashire derby wouldn't surprise me if that finishes in a draw. And the other one, Stoke even money against Pompey, 11-4, 12-5 the draw. Again, I think Stoke have had a wonderful start to the season, but this is an improving, I think, Portsmouth side. Getting on to the cricket, it's 4-9 South Africa, 7-4 England for the first ODI. Fascinating. When you think I think that England top order now of Strauss, Denley, Trott and Peterson is a strong unit, and I was very impressed chasing down 270 odd against a strong South African A side. Again, a lot of people will say, well, that was only the A side, but I remember the last time we played, England scored 330 and beat South Africa in the 50 over version of the game, and I think we may have underestimated England's strength. Match prices, for example, we've got 3-2 South Africa is a 2-1 shot, 3-2 England is 7-2, 50-1 for England to win 5-0. That may be a bit overconfident, but when you think that 5-0 for South Africa is only 6-1, I don't think there is much between the teams as you would have us believe. We will have a plethora of markets on this. We're betting and running, of course, from the first ball of the first ODI to the last ball of the Test series. Really can't wait. We've got some smashing markets as well. 1-2 South Africa score more centuries. Top South African born batsman. Would you believe that market consists of Peterson, Graham Smith, Callis, Strauss, Trott, AB de Villiers and Matt Pryor, all born in South Africa. It really is going to be a fascinating series. I think we've underestimated England. England 2-1 to win the series in South Africa. I think they've got a better chance now. Be lucky.